me say this flat out. If you keep trying to fix a pattern without understanding it, you are always going to fail. And then you're going to blame yourself. And then you'll call it lack of discipline or not wanting it bad enough. And every time you fail, that lie is going to get stronger. That's the cycle that you're in. I know it because I lived it. I've lost 150 pounds. So let me walk you through it and tell me if this hits, okay? You wake up one day feeling fed up. You then grab your phone. You delete Uber Eats or skip the dishes or DoorDash. You go grocery shopping. You buy chicken breast. You buy rice. You buy broccoli. You write out a routine. You maybe print it. You post it on your fridge. You feel motivated. You go to the gym once, twice, maybe even 5 days in a row. You're now in beast mode. You are now in your David Goggins arc. You feel like this is the time. Something's actually changing until it doesn't. Because then you miss one day, then two. Because then your brain, which has been running on short-term dopamine highs, hits a wall. And now you're tired. But more than that, you're mad at yourself. So what do? You punish yourself. You skip meals. You say, I'll wait till Monday, right? I'll wait till next week. I'll wait till next month. You start binge watching TikTok or Netflix. You then DoorDash. You isolate. You scroll through your own progress pictures and feel like an absolute fraud. That right there, that is not a discipline problem. That is a nervous system problem. That's your brain trying to regulate itself without the right tools and burning itself out in the process, okay? So here's what I need you to get. Your inconsistency is not proof of laziness. It's proof that your change strategy is fighting your brain instead of working with it. And think about it. The average plan that you're handed was not designed by someone with ADHD. It was not designed by someone without trauma patterns, without low dopamine baselines or testosterone, or without shame stored into their nervous system from a child. And yet, you try to force their system on your own life like it's magically gonna work. Because guess what? It won't. Because they don't know what you've been through, like I have. This is the point where most people bail. And then they disappear for 6 months. Not because they're weak, because no one actually ever gave them a system that matched how their brain operates and functions. And I get why it happens, because you're already burnt out. You've been carrying years of shame about how you look, how you feel, and how you show up. You tell yourself, I'm the type of person who starts fast, but always burns out. You even joke about it. You call yourself fat before other people can. You post memes about it. But deep down, it fucking kills you. Because you want better. I know it, because I did. You want to show up. You want to follow through. But you've never been shown how to build an actual process around the identity you're becoming. Not the identity you are right now trying to force. So let me break this pattern for you. You don't need more motivation. You literally need less friction. You don't need more workouts. You need an environment that doesn't make consistency absolutely fucking impossible. You don't need another spreadsheet. You need a feedback loop that actually accounts for your emotional cycles. The people I work with don't change because they grind harder, they burn the boats. They change because I build them a system that actually works for them and works for their wiring, the way their brain works. And here's the truth that might scare you. You are the system right now. Your habits, your environment, your daily default mode, that's the system that's producing your current body, focus, and confidence level. So if nothing changes, guess what? You don't just stay stuck, you slide further down. You either build the system that frees you, or you stay trapped in the one that you have right now in here. Now, let me pause, because this might be already hitting deep. And if it is, and you're thinking, man, bro, like, I need someone to just help me build this version of me that works for me, man, then look, we don't need to wait. Seriously, we don't need to wait, okay? Time is of the essence here. Time is our most valuable commodity, not money. Book a call with me, it's free, the link's below. You and me, no pressure, no pitch, no bullshit, there's no sales fucking funnel, okay? We're gonna go through your current pattern right now. We're gonna expose the root of your inconsistency, and I will walk you through exactly how we rebuild it around your real self. Not this fake version. The one that already exists, buried under all the lies, okay? So you're still with me? Good, because we're just getting started. And the next piece of this is why your willpower fails. Why your dopamine system is sabotaging your progress, and how to finally break free without relying on random energy spikes. So stay with me. Most people think they just need more discipline. What they actually need is more dopamine literacy. You're probably not understanding, so let me explain. The brain runs on chemicals, and dopamine is the one that drives most of the effort. Not success, not results, just effort, okay? So when your brain expects a hit of dopamine, it will move literal mountains to get it. But when it doesn't, it will make excuses that sound like logic. I'm just gonna do it later, right? I just need to rest today. I don't want to half-ass it, so I'll just wait until the perfect time so I can go all in. Look, does that sound familiar? Because I know you've said it. It's not weakness. That's your brain avoiding pain because it doesn't see the reward. Now, let's talk about the trap. The modern world gives us instant dopamine, like 24/7. We have food delivery. We have all these TikTok reel bullshit. We have video games. We have stimulation on demand. With the click of a button, you can get anything delivered within 24 hours. Even fantasizing about working out can give you a hit, whether even doing it because you could do it on Sims. Your brain doesn't care about what's good for you. It cares about what's predictable and easy. So if you're stacking your life with sources of fast, low-effort dopamine, you're training your brain to ignore anything that requires effort. Like working out, or cooking, or yoga, or journaling, or meditating, or even fucking going to bed on time. It's not a mystery to me why you constantly bail. You're not broken, you're just outgunned, dude. So when you try to just like white knuckle your way through a fat loss phase or a brand new morning routine because you're Ashton fucking Hall, because you're just super jacked and you're gonna put your face through a bowl of ice water, and then you still doom scroll your way through every free second of the day, that's like trying to meditate while standing in a motherfucking mosh pit. You've got your default mode working against you. No routine will work. No magic calendar will save you if your baseline dopamine system is already being hijacked all day, every single day. And the worst part, you start thinking your inconsistencies is proof that you're not cut out for this. But the truth is, you're running a system designed by default, not by design. It's not that you're bad at structure. It's that the structure you're in rewards distraction and punishes effort. So let me show you what I teach my clients. Before we even talk about macros or training plans, we start by building what I call the dopamine defense system. DDS. It's trademarked, okay? Don't take it. But it's not a detox. It's not a total blackout, but it's a relocation of where the brain gets its reward. We map out what's feeding the wrong loop. Like, what are your current cheap dopamine hits? What's hijacking your mental energy before the day even starts? What's making it harder to enjoy the actual progress of change? And then we inject intentional reward paths into the system, like momentum stacking, emotional anchoring, triggers that keep people like myself with ADHD engaged, and identity reinforcement rituals that train pride, that don't force punishment, okay? Because here's the deal. Consistency is not about willpower. Consistency is better than failure. It's about reward proximity. If your life is full of friction, if every good habit feels like a punishment, if you get more satisfaction from planning than executing, you are not undisciplined. You're in dopamine debt. And every time you try to grind through it, you're not David Goggins. You just end up going deeper. That's why so many people bounce from challenge to challenge, to diet to diet, to bullshit to bullshit. They need intensity to stay engaged. But intensity isn't sustainable. Eventually, you will crash. And when you do, they make it mean something about their character. That's the real wound here. It's not about the food. It's not about the gym. It's about what you think it means when you fall off. You make inconsistency mean you're broken. And once you believe that, it's fucking game over, dude. Until a couple months later, a couple years later, the next New Year's resolution, until the next magical restart. So here's what I want you to know. Your behavior right now is not random. It's exactly what your current system is designed to produce. And that's great news, because it means it can and will be redesigned, okay? But not with magic hacks, not with brute force, with a full system shift. You build a life that rewards the kind of person you want to become, not the one that you've been trained to be by society. That's the work I do with people like you. And if you're starting to see the patterns, if all of this is what I've been saying is hitting you in the chest right now, then just don't overthink it. Book the call, okay? Book the call. I'm not sending you to some random landing page with 17 upsells. This is me talking to you face to face or phone to phone, walking through your actual wiring and building a simple blueprint that aligns with your real life. There's no pressure, but I gotta ask, if not now, then seriously, like when? How much longer? How many more struggles? Because let me tell you what happens when you don't make this shift. You keep chasing bursts of motivation, hoping it'll finally stick, And then you start over again, and again, and again, and again, until, like me, you finally give up. Maybe try to take your life. It's not because you don't care, but because you're exhausted from failing yourself. And that is the identity that wrecks people, but especially men, because they just internalize this emotion shit. It's not the weight, it's not really the workouts, it's the belief that you're never gonna follow through, right? And genuinely, like, that's not a lie that I'm letting you keep. I don't want that. So click the link. Let's go on a really quick free call. Let's kill that lie, and let's rebuild something real. Let's get deeper. Let's get deeper, because right now, whether you realize it or not, your identity is fighting your goals. And that's why your results don't stick. You're trying to act like a disciplined, high-performing version of yourself, but you still see yourself as the guy who messes it up. The guy who falls off, the guy who doesn't follow through. And no matter how many plans you download, routines you try, videos you watch, or macros you track, you will never, ever outperform your identity, your subconscious mind. So the brutal truth is, you don't rise to the level of your ambition. You will fall to the level of what you think you deserve. And what you think you deserve is based off of past failure, not current potential, not actual effort, just a pile of emotional memory telling you, this is what happens, just don't get your hopes up, we've been through this road before. And that narrative, it leaks into every facet of your life, leaks into everything. If you skip the gym just this once, you justify a binge spree because you already messed up this day, right? You delay the start because you need a perfect, clear schedule. Again, that's not behavior, that's BS belief. And if that belief doesn't change, nothing else will. I have lived this. I have seen this over and over and over again with my clients. You don't just want to lose weight. You want to feel like the kind of person who actually follows through. That's it. That's this entire game. It's not just about magic fucking fat loss. It's not just about energy. It's not even about focus. It's about finally being able to trust yourself. Like when you say, I'm doing this, you fucking mean it. Deep down, like sincerely. It's not bullshit. You're not lying to yourself. And this is where most people get this wrong. They try to earn a new identity after they get results. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna feel confident once I lose the weight. I'll feel so focused once I have a six-pack. I'll feel worthy once I've earned it. No, okay? That is so fucking backwards. Confidence doesn't come after the reps, dude. It drives the reps. You need a new internal narrative before the external transformation even shows up. And if that sounds like fake it till you make it, it's not. I'm not telling you to lie to yourself. Please, don't get me wrong. I'm telling you to lead yourself. Think of your current identity like software. Right now, it's running on an outdated operating system full of limiting beliefs, emotional memory, and protective behaviors that used to serve you, but now is sabotaging you, okay? And every time you try to run new habits on that old system, you crash. You will crash, okay? And that's what I do with my clients, is I rewire that system from the ground up. We rebuild the I am statements running in your head 24/7. I am the person who finishes. I am the person who can reset without shame. I am the person who doesn't wait for motivation. I have a process. I will follow the system. And we train those beliefs with reps. Your subconscious mind, not just bullshit affirmations, not just fucking vision boards. Reps, real action, micro wins and strategies, moment by moment reinforcement of the new story, the new version, the new identity of you. So here's how you can start today. Please stop trying to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of momentum. Consistency is better than failure. Your new identity is not flawless. It's just resilient. You need to track your behavior, not emotion. You need to stop judging success by how you feel. Judge it by what you do when you feel like shit. Just win the first hour of your day. How you start determines how you finish. The first win, even so fucking small. Like you don't go on your phone, you don't scroll TikTok. It sets the tone for the rest of your day. Use your failure as data. Every time you fall off, please don't spiral, okay? Ask, like, what system failed? What can I tweak? That's it. You don't need 1,000 habits. You need clarity on who you're actually becoming in a system that reinforces this identity every single day. Now look, if you're still listening to this and nodding, and you feel the sting of truth in your chest and your brain right now, I want to offer you something that I've mentioned 3 other times. A one-on-one conversation. Just me and you, face-to-face or phone to four, phone to phone, where we map out what your identity is right now and how it's sabotaging your goals and how we will fix it. This is not with a speech. I'm not Martin Luther. I'm not MLK. It's with a process. You can book the call using the link below. Now, I only take a few each week because this is not a BS funnel. I have other stuff to do. This is just real coaching. I have clients to help. This is a real rebuild. So if you've been waiting for the sign that this could actually be different, this is it. Because here's what happens if you don't. You keep chasing transformation from a place of self-hate. You use shame as your fuel source. And then you burn out again. You shrink. You accept the identity you never wanted. The I guess this is just who I am story. And that's when the fire dies. Not in your workouts, not in your diet, but in your belief that change is even possible. And that's what I refuse to let happen to you. You're not broken. You're, again, running on an old operating system, an old script. So let's replace it. Click the link, book the call. Let's get to fucking work. Because let me ask you a hard question. What if the reason you can't stay consistent has nothing to do with you and just everything to do with your environment? It's not just talking about where you live or you work. I'm talking about the default conditions of your daily life. The fridge you open, the phone you check, the people you text, the people you hang out with, the chair you sit in, the playlists you run, the stress that you've normalized, the apps that absolutely drain you, the notifications that fracture and mess up your focus. All of it forms the invisible system that shapes your behavior without even realizing it's not your fault. But look, you're not failing because you lack motivation. You're failing because every environment in your life has been silently training you to escape. You open your laptop, you get a ping. You open your phone, dopamine slot machine. You try to relax, food, screens, none, repeat, right? Your environment is a loop. It's a self-reinforcing loop that rewards instant gratification and punishes anything with a delayed payoff. So of course, tracking your meals feels like an absolute chore. Of course, stretching, walking, sleeping on time feels optional. Your environment is silently whispering, take the shortcut, man, just this once, come on. You can start again tomorrow. And most people, they never notice. They try to change their habits while keeping their environment the same, right? Which is like trying to grow muscle in a starvation camp. And don't worry, I'm Jewish, okay? I can make that joke. But you need to understand this. You'll never outperform the environment you operate in. Listen, again, you will never outperform the environment you operate in. Because your environment doesn't just reflect your standards. It fucking trains them, okay? So here's how I flip the script for you and my clients. We don't start with some BS meal plan. We start with an audit. Like, what's visible on your kitchen counter right now? What opens when you unlock your phone? What do you see when you walk in your house? What's the default app you tap when you're stressed or you're bored? Who do you talk to daily? And what do they normalize and tell you? Because you are the sum of 5 people you hang out with the most. I have a video on that. You should watch that, okay? And what's on your calendar that creates friction or fatigue? And then we make micro changes that rewire the context, not just the behavior. You're probably wondering, I want examples. Great, here we go. Digital dopamine defense. We're gonna move all the bullshit, the cheap dopamine apps off your home screen. You're gonna delete them, right? No phone access until the first action is done, which means you walk, you hydrate, you do your whatever, your yoga routine, then you get your phone. You block the most triggered hours with environmental cues. You set alarms like default is death. You block your most triggered hours with environmental cues. You have alarms that are labeled. You have a cognitive load clearance, pre-pick breakfast, and gym closed the night before. One button playlist, no decision fatigue. You lock your screen as your new lock screen on your phone is your new identity mirror, your vision board. I follow through now. Your social proof rebuild. You unfollow anyone who makes you feel inadequate or small or left behind. You start a one-on-one accountability thread with people chasing the exact same thing. You have daily check-ins. You have daily texts that reinforce your identity, not metrics. We declutter your fridge and your house, the foods in your fridge. We clear out the trigger foods. We make your default choices the right choice because visibility is consistency. We have calendar domination. We schedule frictionless workouts, 20 minutes over skipped 60. Okay? Protect your power windows, 2 hours per day where the world doesn't get to distract you. These aren't hacks. This is design. We are not fixing you. You're not broken, but you're not optimal. We're just fixing the cage that you were never supposed to thrive in. Because here's what most people miss. Your brain will always follow the path of the least resistance. Literally always. If you have junk food on the counter, you're going to fucking eat it. If TikTok is one tap away, you are going to fucking open. If your workout is 20 minutes away and you're already stressed, guess what's gonna happen? You're going to fucking skip it. And then you'll shame yourself for it. Again, I keep saying this because it's true. It's not your fault, but it is now your responsibility to change it, because that is what separates people who finally break through from the ones who just stay stuck. They stop blaming their lack of motivation and they start taking full ownership over their system. They become architects of their environment, and then guess what happens? Everything actually changes. This isn't fluff, this isn't magic. I lived it, I've done it, okay? So let me ask you something. I want you to actually visualize this. What would your life look like if your environment pushed you forward instead of pulling you back every day? What if your kitchen, what if your computer, your technology, your daily flow made it easier to actually stay consistent than to actually just bail and give up? You can have that, but you have to be willing to zoom out and redesign. And that's exactly what I would build for you on our call. We don't just talk theory, we actually get tactical. I'm actually gonna give you advice to walk away from, right? We open up your weeks, I literally give you an audit, we look at your defaults, and we start rebuilding the structure that actually supports the person you're trying to become. So again, if this is hitting, click the link, book the call. Nope, it's not about intensity, it's about alignment. You're already expending energy. You're just pouring it into a system that breaks you. So let's change that. You've tried really hard before. You probably meal prepped, you tracked, you grinded, you planned, you fasted, you journaled, you forced yourself into discipline for a few days, but maybe even a few weeks, but it didn't stick, man. Not because you weren't motivated, not because you didn't care, but because you never integrated the new identity into your actual real life, and that's the missing piece. Integration is what turned effort into embodiment. So, let's be clear. Fat loss is actually easy. Consistency is fucking hard. Anyone can crash diet 20 pounds off. Anyone can go beast mode for 30 days. But who are you on day 31, right? When no one's watching, when life punches you in the mouth really hard, when motivation disappears, that's the test where most people fail, because they never built a process that holds them up when the dopamine dies. And that's what I build with clients. It's not just some fucking bullshit fat loss protocol. It's a completely new operating system. And that means your habits are designed around how your brain works. A daily rhythm that adapts to your highs and your lows. A feedback loop that rewards momentum and not just results. Mental anchors that rewire how you respond to failure, because failure isn't the enemy, disconnection is. Most people don't fall off because they lack effort. They fall off because they lack recovery. They don't know how to reset without shame. So one mistake becomes a weekend, one missed workout becomes a lost week, and soon it's been 3 months since they showed up for themselves last. You felt that emotional numbness, that quiet quitting of yourself. And that's why I teach adaptive consistency, not perfection, not intensity, just consistency, even at your lowest version. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're triggered, when you're bored, can your system still hold you? Because that's the question that matters. Because it's easy to show up when life is smooth, but if your structure only works when everything's perfect, guess what? It's not a real fucking structure, right? I'm gonna give you something practical right now. The 3 C's of integration. So capacity first. Stop trying to live like a robot, all right? You have a bandwidth. What's your actual energy budget right now? And build from that. Consistency over intensity. Consistency is better than failure. A 10-minute workout beats a skip 60-minute perfect plan. Ritual beats randomness every single time. And the last one is compassion as a tool. Shame is not a strategy. If you beat yourself up when you fall off, you're reinforcing the old identity, which is what we're trying to break. So you need to learn to course correct and not fucking collapse. These 3 things rebuild your relationship to action and eventually to yourself, to your brain, to your subconscious mind, to your routine. You don't need more motivation. You need sustainability. You need a system that protects your progress even when life gets hard, because it's not perfect and you can't keep waiting for it to be. And that's what I help rebuild you on our call. We map out your current chaos. We strip out all the bullshit. We build the identity-driven system that fits you, and it sticks because it's you proof. It doesn't rely on hype. It doesn't crumble with stress. It runs because it's based on your actual life psychology and rhythm, not someone else's PDF. My own structures that's helped 400 plus others, and it's customized to you. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to stop restarting? Are you done measuring your worth by your weight? Are you done being the person who knows what to do but never does it? Because if so, this is literally the last restart you'll ever need. Click the link, book the call, let's talk. Let's simplify this. Let's rebuild a system that actually fits the person you are and the one that you're trying and want to become. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not next week, not next month, not New Year's. Now. I only have a limited amount of spots. The door's open. Let's talk. Let's walk through this together. Speak soon.